guys, happy Friday. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. For those of you that are new, my name is Orly and this is the DIY Designer. I do really fun DIY fashion and home decor and all sorts of great projects. And today is a little outside of my norm. I'm actually gonna show you guys how you can create a huge, epic, oversized rainbow arch that can be used as a photo backdrop or anything that you want for your next party. It's so freaking fun and it's 100% recycled. So here's the deal. Blakey was turning 6 and she wanted a rainbow themed party. And now listen, I am not like the greenest person in the world, but everything that I was thinking of for decor, I was realizing I'm literally gonna go out, I'm gonna spend all this money, I'm gonna buy all this stuff. It's gonna go up for like 2 hours and it's just gonna go in the trash. You know, I thought like it would be really cool to do one of those big balloon rainbow arches. They're so epic and they make for such fun photos and it's just like so happy looking. But then I thought, gosh, that really is just a lot of waste for like 3 hours to do all of that just to basically like throw it away. So I decided to challenge myself. Is it possible to make something recycled? Could I challenge myself to make something that looked beautiful, that looked cool, but was 100% recycled? I thought about using newspapers, I thought about using magazines, I had all these different ideas, and then I remembered I've got the giant freaking boxes that my Messiah & Co. rocking chairs came in. So I had them in the backyard and they needed to be broken down to put in the recycler anyway. And that is when it came to me. I'm gonna share with you guys exactly how I did it. It was such a statement. I threw it up on Instagram and I think it is my most liked photo ever on Instagram. So this is a real crowd pleaser. And I hope that you guys will do it. Maybe you'll make something that's not a rainbow, but equally as cool and equally as recycled, which is really awesome. Okay guys, let's get into it. Alrighty, so here are the big boxes I was gonna use. Basically, I'm breaking them down just like you would break them down to put them in the recycler, but you're gonna kind of keep going a few steps further. So once I got the big pieces, I then cut those into long strips, and then after that, I started cutting them into squares. Majority of the squares are about 12 by 12, although it's not perfect. All you need is a bunch of different sizes that are all in a square or rectangular shape. Now, I happen to have a photo stand that I use for photo backdrops when I'm filming. You can absolutely make your own out of PVC pipe. It's super simple and there's like a million tutorials online, but I had this. Now, I needed to actually set it up in advance because the way this one works, it's in set lengths on top. I don't have the ability to like fully adjust it. So I needed to set it up to the right size and then measure that size. Now, originally I thought I was actually gonna put it in this space because with a curtain, not only is it a nice backdrop with the ivy, but it also blocks like all of that stuff I have in the back, which is like 30 DIYs waiting to be done. So anyway, I took a measurement and I realized it was about 9 feet wide. So I laid out on the floor, measured 9 feet, and started grabbing the big stack of boxes I had and just started creating a arch, just a gradual arch that I knew was 9 feet wide. Once I did it, I double checked that it was 9 feet, which it was. However, the top needed to be about 7 feet tall. It was a little shorter, so I just moved them. Now, it was right around this point when I was like, what in the heck? How am I going to create this giant 9x7 arch that's not gonna fall apart? And what I realized is that it actually works to do it in pieces. So that piece right behind me, those 4 pieces of cardboard behind me are already glued. That will end up being the left bottom piece of my rainbow. Now what I'm working on will be the left arch of my rainbow. I basically did it in 5 sections. So I've got 2 bottoms, 2 curved arches, and 1 top center. Once those 3 pieces were set, I grabbed smaller cardboard pieces that I had additionally cut, and I just sort of laid them out and glued them for a little bit of dimension. Now, I'm painting this with cheap craft paint. You can totally use spray paint if you want, but I think it's gonna be a bit of a waste of money. You're gonna have to buy a lot of spray paint, which will get expensive. You really have to protect your surface so you don't have overspray. I think craft paint is a really easy, manageable, cheap way of doing it, which is awesome. Now, what I realized is that I kind of wanted the colors to be blended gradually so that one color would go to the next a little bit more gradual and not so sharp. A really great hack for this is basically to not clean your paintbrush like ever. So what I did is as I moved from each color, I left a little bit of the old color so that I could go back in and buff the seam between the 2 colors. Now you can see obviously between the green and the yellow is a really, really harsh contrast. So I just added in some more yellow paint on the green and started buffing it in until I had a little bit more of a blended tone. Now here you can see sort of what those 5 pieces look like. I've got the bottom left there, the purple, right? That'll be the one side. Then I've got my curve. Then I've got the little piece that will be my center, the next curve, and the next piece. Now I took the 2 tops of the boxes. These were the boxes of my chairs, and I drew out big, just like clouds. I just drew it out with a crayon, cut them out. I'm gonna paint them white, and I just need 2 of those, and then I've got my big clouds. Now you can see there it is. It was huge. Once I finished it, I put it on my driveway, and I'm like, what in the heck? Like, how am I gonna do this? So I actually moved the whole thing to the front yard because we were gonna do a slip and slide, and I thought, man, that actually looked really cool to have this like going all over the slip and slide. First thing I did was tried using like the Gorilla tape, duct tape, totally didn't work. And then I had this idea. You can see that all of the pieces that are already up are tied, and this is how I did it. You're gonna need some help with this. So my husband is holding it exactly where I want it. In my hand, I have a small screwdriver that's really sharp, and I am puncturing a hole below the pole and above the pole of exactly where I want it to be. Again, below the pole and above the pole. I will then put in a piece of ribbon that I can tie and secure to the photo drop backdrop so that it stays exactly where I want it. So basically you can see I'm just cutting a piece of ribbon and I'm pushing it through. On the front side, you're only gonna see about 1 inch of that ribbon. The back side is where the 2 tails are so that we can tie it and secure it in place. So again, I'll do the same thing with those 2 holes, call for my husband to help me so he can hold it up, and basically we're gonna hold it exactly where we originally put it. Now I take my tie, 1 piece of the ribbon goes under the pole, the other one goes over, I tie it in place, attaching it to the pole. Now, not only is it perfectly secure, but it's exactly lined up where I needed it. It's not gonna shift, it's not gonna move, it's not gonna fall. It was really strong, and it stayed for days like this. The other benefit is I can tweak it exactly how I want it. So I was able to step back and look at the curve to make sure that the arch of my rainbow was creating a really natural arch while still blocking all of the metal behind it. So I was able to put it all up, tie it all into place. You can see there's a tiny V gap, which I just put another piece, painted another piece of green, and added it in. Everything is secure. We have our beautiful, fun slip and slide. And look at this. It was amazing. Blake was so excited. We were like waiting on the front yard for everyone to come. It was the minute before the party. It looks beautiful. It's a huge statement. It's colorful. It's bold. It's 100% recycled and reusable. It's so fun, and everyone absolutely loved it. One other thing that we did that I wanted to share in case you want to do something similar is our party favors were actually these shirts, coloring shirts that the girls each got to customize and color in however they wanted. I made mine with my Cricut, and this is 100% something I'm going to do as merch. I'm releasing my first merch really soon, and this is something that I want to do because I think for adults, for kids, it's just so fun and so creative. They're machine washable. The kids absolutely loved them. We also got this beautiful unicorn cake that my friend Candy made. Yep. Her name is Candy, and she makes cakes.
What do you even have to say?
It almost looks like the one in
That does not look real.
Nailed it?
Nailed It. It almost looks like the one in Nailed It.
That is the one in Nailed It.
No.
That
Yeah.
does not look real.
Isn't that incredible?
It's real. You play back. I love you, but I won't hug you.
I almost